Hey guys, tonight we dive into something a little more real world than your average grammar textbook. Imagine this: you're standing at a crowded airport, passport in one hand, that weird travel pillow still clinging to your neck like a koala. The announcements are blasting, people are darting around like caffeinated squirrels, and someone just asked you something in English but you only caught the word baggage. You freeze. This is the kind of English no school prepared you for. No worksheets, no polite "how are you today," just real life, real language, and real sweat dripping down your back as you try not to look like you're about to cry. And let's be honest, you probably won't survive this journey with grammar rules alone. Sorry, present perfect continuous, you're staying home. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, I'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop your location and local time in the comments. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You step through the airport doors, dragging your suitcase like it personally betrayed you. Welcome to your first taste of international English, a global mess of accents, customs, and phrases that somehow work, even when they shouldn't. That's the magic. The first real test: passport control. The officer doesn't smile, he doesn't even blink. He just asks, "Purpose of your visit?" Cue internal panic. You prepared for "hello, how are you?" not a mini interrogation. Still, you manage. "Tourist," you say. Not tourism, not tour. You nailed the noun, and that's all that matters. He stamps your passport with the enthusiasm of a sleepy librarian and waves you through. Boom. First win. Next, you're greeted by signs in English, but it's the weird kind. Mind your step. Way out. Toilets this way. It's not the kind of English you ever learned in class, but you start decoding it. Mine means watch, way out means exit, and toilets, well, you figure that one out fast enough. Here's a historical nugget to chew on: English became the international language of aviation after World War II. Pilots and air traffic controllers worldwide had to speak it, or else crash, and no one wants that. But fringe fact: the word airport only became common in the 1920s. Before that, they were aerodromes. Sounds fancier, doesn't it? Still, historians argue whether English rose to dominance in air travel out of practicality or because the British Empire had already scattered English across half the planet by then. Either way, you benefit, sort of. At baggage claim, you hear the magical phrase, "Carousel 7." But when you finally spot your suitcase, it's tangled with a stranger's. Do you say, "Excuse me, is this yours?" or do you just a broken bar tug and hope? The smart move: ask that phrase, "Excuse me, is this yours?" That's survival English. Clean, polite, easy to say. You'll use "excuse me" more than "hello," especially while traveling. It's your Swiss Army knife. Bump into someone: "Excuse me." Need help: "Excuse me." About to make a dumb tourist mistake: "Excuse me," and people forgive you faster. You move toward the exit, and a man in a vest asks, "Need a taxi?" You nod, then realize, you should probably ask how much. But the words won't come. So here's your emergency line: "How much to the city center?" Repeat that in your sleep. Because next time, when the driver says, $50, and you say, "What? That's too much," he'll just smile and say, "Welcome to the airport." Oh, and a tip from travelers in the know: never get into a cab without agreeing on the price or checking if they use a meter. Some drivers assume foreign means free money. Now you finally get in. You're sweaty, sleep-deprived, but oddly proud. You spoke English. You survived, kinda. The ride begins. You try small talk. Nice weather. The driver grunts. You try again. Long day. Still nothing. Reminder: not all English speakers want to talk. Don't take it personally. Some are tired, some are shy, and some are just allergic to social interaction. Here's your first secret weapon: smile, listen, and use short sentences. English doesn't reward complexity in casual moments, it rewards clarity. "I'm here for 1 week. I love your city. This traffic is crazy." You're not here to impress, you're here to connect. And just when you're starting to relax, you see a giant billboard that says, In bold letters, "Don't text while driving." You nod. That one, you understand perfectly. English isn't just languagia, it's warning signs, stickers, elevator buttons, and receipts. It's everywhere, and the more you stop translating in your head, the more it starts to stick. So, in this first leg of your journey, you've conquered immigration, survived taxi scams, and decoded strange airport signs. And you didn't even use the past perfect once. That's the goal, friend. English that works, not English that wins grammar medals. Get ready, because next up, it's hotel time. And yes, you will mess up the difference between booking and cooking. Everyone does. You finally reach the hotel. It's bigger than it looked online. The kind of building that could either be very fancy or just really good at hiding its age. Your taxi driver grumbles something about tip, and you hand him a bill that you think is enough. He shrugs, which in taxi language means acceptable, and drives off. Now it's you versus the hotel lobby. The door opens automatically, and boom, air conditioning so cold it hits like betrayal. You step inside, dragging your suitcase across the shiny floor like a reluctant pet. At the reception desk stands a person in a blazer who smiles at you with the practiced politeness of someone who's been smiling all day. "Hi, checking in?" they ask. Your brain panics. Yes, no, wait, what does that even mean again? You nod too fast, which is the universal signal for "I have no idea what you just said, but I'm hoping this works." You manage. "Yes, I have a broken bar booking." "Not a booking." "Not my booking." "Just booking." "But guess what, it works." They nod, type furiously, and ask for your passport. Real-life English often rewards effort over accuracy. As long as they get the message, you're good. You don't need perfect grammar, you need communicative survival. Still, here's a cheeky reminder: booking is the noun, to book is the verb, and cook, which you're probably mixing it up with, is something totally different. Although if you say "I cook a hotel," it might give someone a story to tell at dinner. Now they ask, "Would you like one key or two?" You say, "Yes." Oops, that's one of those moments where context matters. So next time, you can try, "One key, please," or just "me." Clean, simple. Still no grammar textbooks needed. Here's a historical nugget while you wait for your room key. The idea of checking in dates back to the 1700s, when inns used giant logbooks to record guests. No databases, no fingerprints, just a feather pen and a suspicious innkeeper. And the fringe fact? Some medieval European travelers would carry letters of recommendation from their town priests, so inns wouldn't suspect them of being thieves or troublemakers. Imagine needing a priest's Yelp review just to get a bed. Now, back to your modern adventure. Your room is ready. You're handed the keycard like it's a golden ticket, and you pretend you know how to use it. Spoiler, you don't. You'll try swiping it the wrong way at least 3 times. Everyone does. Finally, you're in. You close the door, take off your shoes, and collapse face first onto the bed. It smells like industrial-strength laundry detergent and jet lag. But in a broken bar you realize you forgot to ask about Wi-Fi. So you stumble back down, holding the keycard like it's a passport to survival. At the desk, you try again. Wi-Fi password. The receptionist smiles, slides a card across the counter, and says, "It's on here." All lowercase, no spaces. Now you're part of the global ritual of typing in Wi-Fi passwords at unnatural angles, hoping to see those sweet bars fill up. Quick tip: never say internet code, unless you want to confuse someone. Wi-Fi password is the magic phrase. Always has been, always will be. Suddenly, the phone rings in your room. You answer, awkwardly. "Hello?" "It's reception. Just checking everything's okay with the room." You panic. This is your first hotel phone call. You say, "Yes, a broken bar, it's room." Not quite right, but again it gets the job done. What you meant to say was "Yes, the room is fine," or "Everything's okay, thank you." But they get it. No one expects Shakespeare from a jet-lagged traveler. Here's something fun. Historians still argue whether early hotels existed mainly to serve travelers or to keep an eye on them. Surveillance? Safety? or service? Maybe all three, especially in the days when room service meant a bucket of water and a slice of stale bread. Let's not forget the fringe culture of hotel codes. Ever wonder why staff say housekeeping even when they're knocking at 7 a.m. like the FBI? It's part of the unwritten hotel English rulebook. And do not disturb signs, those are sacred. You hang that thing like your life depends on it, and sometimes it does. Now you're ready to explore the room. There's a minibar with overpriced chocolate, a TV remote you don't know how to use, and a toilet with buttons that look like they could launch a missile. Later, you try to call room service. You rehearse your sentence like it's a TED Talk. You pick up the phone. "Can I order a broken bar food?" A long pause, then a voice. "Of course, sir. What would you like?" You didn't prepare for that part. You blurt, "Chicken." Any chicken. You'll get something. You just don't know what kind of chicken or how it'll taste. That's part of the fun. Maybe. Want a phrase that always works? "What do you recommend?" It buys you time, and often gets you the safest or most popular dish. Also, people love giving advice, especially when they get to be the expert. Eventually, your food arrives. You open the door, smile, and say thank you. That phrase you'll use it hundreds of times during travel, and it never gets old. As you eat mystery chicken on the bed, feet up, air conditioning humming, you realize, you did it. You checked in, you asked questions, you got what you needed, and not once did you need to conjugate to be in past tense. English, when used for survival, is messy, forgiving, and full of shortcuts. That's the beauty. Now, rest up, because tomorrow, you'll face restaurant menus and you're definitely going to order something you didn't mean to. Morning comes. You wake up in a strange bed, not quite sure where you are, momentarily convinced you're late for school, work, or the apocalypse. Then you remember, hotel, travel, adventure, and hunger. Your stomach speaks before your brain does. You shuffle to the mirror, give yourself the universal tired traveler nod, and head down to the hotel restaurant. You're greeted with a buffet that looks like someone raided an international grocery store and just went wild. Croissants, fried rice, sausages, miso soup, fruit you can't name. It's beautiful chaos. A staff member approaches with a practiced smile. "Good morning. Room number?" You panic. "Numbers?" Before coffee, you mumble something close to your room number. Maybe it's right, maybe it's the hotel across the street. Doesn't matter. They nod and wave you in. You grab a plate. You point at food. You say nothing. It works. But then comes the real challenge, ordering from a menu later. Outside, in the wild, you step into a local cafe. Copyright, hoping to live your eat, pray, love fantasy, but the menu looks like someone translated it with a potato. Phrases like fried delight of intestine joy and happy pig meat sandwich make you question your life choices. You point again. It's your favorite move now. The waiter asks, "You want spicy?" You say, "Little spicy." In tourist English, little spicy means please don't burn my soul. In some countries, it means, add chili until I hallucinate. So, good luck. Want to play it safe? Learn this phrase. What is it made with? Not what is this? Because that just sounds like you're judging it. But what is it made with? Makes you sound thoughtful, and maybe you avoid the dish with fermented duck eggs and cilantro. Here's a historical side dish. The word restaurant comes from the French word restaurer, meaning to restore. Originally, it was about soup, literally a restorative broth. Paris in the 1700s saw the birth of the modern restaurant. Before that, you either cooked for yourself or hoped someone would feed you. The quirky twist: the first U.S. restaurant to print menus was Delmonico's in New York, 1837. Before that, you just ate whatever the cook felt like making. A bold system. And yes, historians still argue whether modern menus reflect customer freedom or just clever manipulation. Ever wonder why the most expensive item is always next to something slightly cheaper? That's not accidental. Back in your cafe. Copyright, you try small talk with the waiter. You say, "Very nice place." They beam. "You first time here?" You nod. "Yes, from Vietnam." They smile bigger. "Ah, welcome. I have friend there." Instant connection. This, right here, is the heart of travel English. Simple words, big impact. You finish your meal, the bill arrives. You stare at it, confused. Service charge? Tax? What does 10% discretionary gratuity mean? Here's your cheat sheet. A service charge included equals no need to tip. A gratuity optional equals up to you. And no mention of tip at all? You can leave 10% and look like a hero. You approach the cashier. They say, "Did you enjoy?" You say, "Very good, thank you." Is it poetic? Number. Is it effective? Completely. But maybe, just maybe, you want to sound a little smoother next time. Here's a phrase to memorize. The food was delicious. I'll definitely come back. It's warm, it's clear, and it makes restaurant owners love you. Let's talk about ordering drinks. Coffee, please works. But here's a travel pro move. Can I get a coffee to go? That's gold. It tells them you know the rhythm of their world. And yes, you can switch coffee to tea, juice, or even bubble tea. Just don't ask for bubble juice unless you're feeling adventurous. Now, in some places, menus come with pictures. Great. But in others, it's all text. So your new superpower, learn these 5 words. Chicken, beef, pork, fish, vegetarian. With these, you can survive 90% of menus on Earth. Also, no peanuts and no dairy if allergies are a thing. You don't want your vacation ending in an ambulance. Time for another fringe gem. In Japan, there are restaurants with plastic food displays so detailed, they cost more than the actual dish. That's right, your model of fried shrimp might be worth $200. Because art matters, even if it's edible plastic. Back at your table, you realize you've made it through a full meal. You ordered, you chatted, you even found the bathroom without using Google Translate. That's a win. Travel English, especially for food, is all about confidence. Not vocabulary, not grammar, just guts and gestures, and sometimes a phone picture of what you ate yesterday that you're trying to eat again. As you step outside, full and slightly proud, remember, pointing works, smiling helps, and mistakes make great stories later. Next stop, shopping, where the words yes, no, and too expensive become your best friends. You step into the market. The air smells like a mix of leather, spices, street food, and a broken bar ambition. Stall after stall glows with souvenirs, clothes, phone cases, and items you'll absolutely regret buying in a week. But in this moment, everything feels magical. A vendor waves at you. "Hello, my friend. Come look." You smile politely, which in shopping English means, "I'm looking, but I don't want a full conversation about it." Then he asks the question you dread, "Where are you from?" Now, here's the thing. This is not a quiz. He's not testing your geography skills. It's just icebreaker English, the market version of "Hi, how are you?" You answer, "Vietnam." He beams, "I know pho." Everyone says this. It's like the global handshake for Vietnamese travelers. He shows you a necklace. "Very beautiful. For you. Special price." You look at it. You have no idea what the actual price should be. So you ask, "How much?" He says, "Normally $50, but for you, $40. You weren't even planning to buy jewelry today, but now you're deep in price negotiation, and your palms are sweaty like you're defusing a bomb. Here's where real English comes in. Forget textbook phrases like "May I inquire about the cost?" No one says that while holding knockoff sunglasses. Use this instead. "Can you do better?" It's short, it's polite, and it tells the seller you're not a complete amateur. You counter. He laughs. You shrug. He lowers the price again. This is the international dance of haggling, and you're learning the moves. Want to say no without sounding rude? Try, "I'll think about it." It's the magic escape phrase. It gives you an exit without hurting feelings, or even softer, "maybe later." This lets you walk away guilt-free while the seller yells, "Okay, okay." 30. A little travel history while you dodge scarves and temptation. The act of haggling dates back to ancient Mesopotamia. Markets were public, loud, and all about conversation. Fixed prices are a modern thing. Accredit those to 19th century Paris department stores. Fringe fact: in Morocco, some shopkeepers will actually get offended if you don't haggle. They think you don't care or aren't engaged in the culture. So always try. Even if your accent sounds like it's auditioning for a comedy show. You wander further. A sign says sale. Everything must go. You peek in. Shoes, shirts, t-shirts with misspelled English like I'm very handsome and no problema. You pick up a t-shirt, a clerk appears. Size for you. You pause. Sizes in different countries are like currency, confusing, inconsistent, and sometimes humiliating. In Asia, you're an L. In the US, you might be an S. In Europe, you might be a 36 and still not fit. You say, "Can I try it on?" They point to a curtain. You enter, dry, and a broken bar. Wow, it fits. You come out, smile, and ask, "Do you have it in black?" That's another phrase to memorize. You'll use it for shirts, shoes, umbrellas, even mugs. While paying, you see a QR code. The clerk says, "You want to pay cash or app?" Welcome to the next level of digital payments in English. To respond, you can say, "I'll use cash," or "Can I use this?" as you hold up your phone with desperate hope. Pro tip: always ask before scanning anything. Fake QR codes are a thing. Now, picture this: a woman selling bracelets stops you. Lucky bracelet, for love. Just small price. You smile. You've seen this game before. You say, "No, thank you." She follows you 5 steps. "Okay, half price." You say again, softer, "No, thank you, I'm okay." 3rd time, she walks away. That's the lesson. English for shopping isn't about clever words, it's about tone. Calm, kind, but firm. Want to say yes with style? Try, "I'll take it." Not "I want this" or "give me those" sound demanding. "I'll take it" is smooth, polite, and confident. Now, imagine buying something unusual, maybe a handmade hat. The seller says, "Handmade by my grandfather." You say, "Really? It's beautiful." That's how you engage without buying yet. Compliments cost nothing and earn you smiles. Here's a fringe shopping gem. In Thailand, some night markets have silent auctions where you write your offer down and the seller decides later. It's bizarre, it's brilliant, and yes, it's still English, just not spoken. Historians still debate whether ancient bazaars were more about commerce or community. Some say markets were proto-social networks, a place to catch gossip, meet people, and yes, occasionally buy a melon. Back in your current market, you've survived 5 offers, 3 aggressive discounts, and 1 t-shirt that said "I can adulting." You bought 2 souvenirs and only mildly overpaid. That's a win. So, you walk back to your hotel with a plastic bag in one hand and a proud little smirk. You did it. You used English. You navigated chaos. And you did not, at any point, say "May I peruse your merchandise?" Coming up next, you're back at work. Office emails, small talk, and how not to sound like a robot who just discovered Microsoft Word. Back at the hotel, you toss your shopping bag onto the bed and scroll through your emails. And suddenly, your stomach drops. There it is. An email from your boss. Subject line, "Quick question." You know that phrase never means quick. You open it anyway. It's in English. Of course. You read slowly, like it's a spell you're trying to break. "Can you confirm the updated timeline for the deliverables, and whether we're aligned with the client expectations?" Your brain screams, "What?" You're not even sure what half of that means, but you recognize danger. This is business English, the sharp suit of the language world, polite, professional, and filled with words that make things sound fancier than they are. But don't panic. You don't need a PhD to reply. You need confidence, clarity, and a few magic phrases. Here's one. "Thanks for your email. I'll check and get back to you shortly." That's it. It buys you time and sounds responsible. And shortly is beautifully vague. In the meantime, let's untangle some business English weirdness. A "Please advise" equals "Tell me what to do." A "Loop me in" equals "Include me in the conversation." A "Let's touch base" equals "Can we talk about it soon?" A "Per our last conversational broken bar" equals "Hey, remember when I told you already?" Honestly, office English is like a secret code where everyone pretends to be polite but secretly wants things faster, cheaper, and less complicated. You decide to write back. You stare at the screen. Then you type, I'll confirm with the client and update you today. Boom. Direct, professional, still human. Want a bonus phrase? Let me know if you have any questions. It makes you sound helpful even if you're secretly hoping they don't ask anything at all. Here's a fun historical nugget. The first known business letter in English was written in 1409 by an English merchant named John Preston. It basically said, "Where's my stuff?" in very fancy handwriting. Fringe fact: some companies still use phrases from 1800s British letters like "yours sincerely" and "kind regards," even though no one says those things in real life anymore. It's tradition or habit. Now let's talk about email tone. You want to sound polite, but not robotic. Helpful, but not a pushover. Clear, but not cold. Avoid starting every email with "I hope this email finds you well." It's fine, but it's become a global meme. Try something more real, like, "Hope your week's going smoothly," or even just a quick note on the project. Also, ditch "I am writing to inform you a broken bar." We know you're writing. It's an email, not a medieval scroll. Let's switch gears for a moment. Imagine you're applying for a job abroad. That email needs to shine. Here's a powerful template you can adapt. Dear name, I'm excited to apply for the job title, position at, company. With my background and your experience, I believe I can contribute to your team in specific way. I've attached my resume and would love to discuss further. Thanks for considering my application. It's warm, focused, and no one will ever think you used ChatGPT, but you totally did. And that's our little secret. Historians still argue whether email has helped or harmed workplace communication. Some say it saves time, others say it causes misunderstanding faster than any other tool in human history. And don't get us started on the dreaded CC and BCC. That's the digital version of whispering and shouting at the same time. Now, let's not forget about the casual emails. You want to thank a coworker for help, say, "Really appreciate your support on this." Not, "Thanks, bro." Unless your coworker is your bro. Need to reschedule a meeting? Would it be possible to move our call to tomorrow? That's the grown-up version of "Hey, can we not do this today?" And when in doubt, bullet points. Bullet points are life. A easy to read, A look professional, A hide your panic. You finish your email, hit send, and immediately feel like you've launched a rocket. Later that day, your boss replies, "Sounds good. Let's touch base Friday." You did it. You survived the email. Here's the final trick. Copy and save the sentences that work. Your English doesn't have to be invented fresh every time. Reuse your best lines like a musician repeating a killer riff. Also, check your spelling, but don't stress over grammar. No one ever got fired for missing an article, but they have gotten fired for sending emails with the subject line "final retards" instead of "final retards." True story. Spell check failed them hard. You lean back, stretch, and reward yourself with a cookie. You've done real English today. Emails don't scare you anymore. Not when you know the game, not when you've got the words. Next up, let's tackle the weird world of office jokes and workplace small talk. How's it going? Is both a greeting and a test of your social survival skills. So, there you area standing awkwardly near the coffee machine at work, holding a cup that's either too hot or weirdly cold, trying to blend in with the locals. Two coworkers are talking about their weekend, and you're stuck deciding whether to join in a broken bar or pretend to check your phone for the 5th time. Then one of them looks over and says, "So, what did you get up to this weekend?" Your brain hits a wall. This is not a test. It's casual English, friendly English. But your answer matters more than you think. This is your entry ticket into workplace small talk, the social glue of office survival. You smile and say, "Just relaxing, a broken bar, watched a movie." Nice. Simple. No panic. You passed. Now they nod. Nice. Anything good? And that's where you can level up with a phrase like, "Yeah, it was a comedy, nothing too serious. Just needed something light." That's casual gold. Notice the structure: short phrases, soft tone, no pressure. You don't have to be funny in English. You just have to sound like you might be. Let's be real, office conversations are often about nothing, And that's the point. They're safe zones. The weather, weekend plans, coffee complaints. It's not about contenta, it's about connection. You'll hear things like, almost Friday, huh? Can't believe it's only Monday. Someone needs to bring donuts. You just nod, chuckle, or say, right? Tell me about it. Boom, you fit in. Want to contribute? Try these. I swear this week's going so slow. Did anyone else hear that thunder last night? I'm counting down to the weekend already. These are universal. No matter where you area, Singapore, Spain, Italy, they work. Here's a historical side note. Workplace small talk evolved as offices did. In the 1800s, factory work left little room for chatter. But once we got desks, elevators, and break rooms, boom, small talk exploded. It's a ritual, a non-negotiable. And here's a fringe gem. In Sweden, there's a concept called fika, a casual coffee break where chatting is the whole point. It's practically sacred. You don't skip fika. Historians still argue whether small talk improves workplace happiness or just delays actual productivity. But you know what? A 3-minute chat can change how people see you. Now jokes. The final boss of English workplace culture. Someone says, "I'd lose my head if it weren't attached." And everyone laughs. You laugh too. You don't get it, but hey, a social survival. Later, someone drops a pun. "I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it." Groan. These are dad jokes. Safe, punny, harmless. Want to try one? Go for easy puns. "I used to play piano by or a broken bar, but now I use my hands." Or simple sarcasm. "Oh great. Another meeting." My favorite. Just keep it PG-13. No edgy jokes, no politics, no sarcasm that could backfire. Here's a phrase to dodge a joke you didn't understand. "I think that one went over my head." Explain. That's charming. Honest. People appreciate it. Or just go with, "I didn't get it, but I love that everyone else did." It shows you're in the loop, even when you're not. Another English survival tactic? Fake laughing. Yes. It's a thing. A polite chuckle, a soft ha, not too loud, not too fake, just enough to blend. Office life also comes with buzzwords. You'll hear, let's circle back, think outside the box, it's a win-win." They sound profound but mean very little. Smile, nod, and move on. You'll also be asked things like, "How was your weekend? Big plans for the holiday?" Safe replies, just staying in. Nothing too crazy. Might catch up on some sleep. Will probably go for a hike if the weather's nice. Notice the vibe? Friendly, light, vague. You're not writing a memo, Ira, just contributing a verse. Now here's an overlooked survival move. The compliment. You say, "Hey, I like your shirt. That was a great presentation." People love compliments. They remember them. And they often come back with, "Thanks. Got it on sale." Or "I was nervous, but glad it came out okay." Boom, now you're chatting. Don't know what to say? Use the environment. Someone yawns. Rough night? They say, "Yeah, my cat thinks 3 a.m. is party time." You say, "Classic. Mine just stares at me until I feed him." And you're in. By the way, classic is your new favorite word. It means, I've here.